One of Australia's largest fossil fuel companies has seen a 24% drop in profits in the first 6 months of the year. But how much did they pay in tax, and why are they months past a deadline on an approval for a massive gas project? Here's the story. According to its half-yearly financial report, Woodside Energy globally made about $2.6 billion Australian dollars and paid about $540 million in income tax in the first 6 months of this year. And the company also had a 24% drop in profits, earning just over $2 billion after taxes in the first half of the year. Now, it's not possible to calculate the exact amount of income tax Woodside paid specifically to Australia because the tax in the report isn't broken down country by country. The only tax expense that is explicitly linked to Australia in the report is the Petroleum Resource Rent Tax. Now, this PRRT is a tax on a company's profit made from taking oil and gas out of Australian soil, but not on its revenue or how much it produces. So there are 11 entities who pay this tax, and this chart is from the 2022-23 financial year. Now, Woodside paid $109 million in petroleum resource rent tax in the first half of this year. So what else is happening with Woodside? Well, this is the same company that's yet to get the final stamp of approval to extend a controversial gas project in WA until 2070. The North West Shelf project was granted conditional approval by Environment Minister Murray Watt back in May. Those conditions include limiting the impact of air emissions from the operation because they could damage World Heritage listed rock art that's tens of thousands of years old. Now, if this goes ahead, the extension of the project will see 80.19 million tonnes of emissions per year until 2070. To help put that into perspective, the average Australian household emits between 15 and 20 tonnes a year. Now, Woodside was supposed to respond to the conditional approval within 10 days. For those counting, it's now mid-August. A government spokesperson told me a final decision will be made in due course. As this decision is currently underway, it would not be appropriate to comment further on the project. Now, Woodside Energy's CEO Meg O'Neill called it frustrating. She said, timeframes are certainly something that needs to be considered when we're thinking about how to lift productivity in Australia, adding she hoped to see a positive outcome in the future. And O'Neill is right, timeframes are important. So then why is their 10-day approval deadline now become an undetermined number of months? Most people don't get to miss deadlines without consequences, but for a fossil fuel giant like Woodside, everyone's got time. Billions in profits, hundreds of millions in taxes, and yet still no clear answer on whether one of the country's biggest climate decisions will be waved through. Wait and see, I guess.